There shall be signs in the heavens. It actually says there should be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, specifically, and upon the earth, distress of nations. So the Bible, the ancient texts, tell us what to watch. And it's never dates on a calendar. Be mightiest. Rise with better intelligence for your business and for your soul. I'm Isaac Voss, and here on YouTube, I unlock two worlds. Harness AI for unstoppable business growth at Isaac Voss Business, and transcend AI for your body, mind, and soul at Isaac Voss Prophecy. Subscribe to both, and let's build kingdom impact together.
Blue 42 AI.
The Three Convergences of 2025. This is a big deal. The big question: why does 2025 feel so significant? Because of convergence. Not one event, but multiple streams aligning at once. As Yehshua said in Matthew 24:7, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. When signs converge, seasons shift. These are the three great convergences happening right now. You've got signs in the heavens, right? God's creation is his clock. You've got nations shaking, wars, alliances, instability. And then you've got the rise of deception, AI, false prophets, and information chaos. Daniel 12:4 said, seal the book until the time of the end. Seal the scroll is what the word was in Hebrew. And many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. Right? That sounds like today more than any other time in history, doesn't it? Convergence marks a prophetic season. Not a date, but a divine alignment of signs. Let's look at convergence number one, signs in the heavens. Genesis 1:14 says, remember, this is a very first chapter of the Bible, and God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven, and let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days, and for years. So before we even talk about seasons and days and years, God says they're for signs first. Wow. So the world is being run with these things, in a sense, right? They play an important role in the Creator's creation. From creation itself, Elohim designed the heavens as markers of his timing. Eclipses, blood moons, and cosmic events speak a divine language. In fact, the U.S. eclipses of 2017 and 2024 formed a giant X. The Hebrew Tav, which is letter 22 in the Hebrew alphabet, literally a giant X across the nation. Not to give a date, but to give a wake-up call. God's creation is his clock, and he's speaking through it here in these last few years, and especially now in 2025. So Genesis 1:14, God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night. Let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. From the very beginning, God designed the sun, the moon, and the stars as a cosmic calendar. Not for astrology, not for superstition, but for divine timing. Psalm 19:1 declares, the heavens declare the glory of Elohim, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. And of course, we know Joel 2:30 and 31 says, I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord come. So, from creation to the prophets, the heavens are God's billboard. The heavens are not random. They're God's intentional markers of prophetic seasons. Let's look at these eclipses across America. In 2017, the Great American Eclipse crossed the nation from coast to coast. It was the first coast-to-coast total eclipse in 99 years. It's a big deal. And then something interesting happens. just a short 7 years later, we have a second eclipse, swept also coast to coast across North America. This one stretched a little bit to adjust the X on America, came in over from Mexico all the way across America, forming the X and departing over Canada. Together, these paths formed a giant X across the United States. Now, there was another X, it's interesting, in recent years in another part of the world that's, I think, also prophetic in many ways, but we'll talk about that later in another video. In Hebrew, the letter Tav resembles an X, the original Tav. Tav means a sign, a seal, a covenant mark. The prophetic takeaway: God has written a Tav across the map of America, not to announce a date, but to mark a season, a warning, and a wake-up call. Again, Genesis 1:14 reminds us, let them be for signs and for seasons. The eclipses form a Tav over America, a divine seal and warning to our nation. Let's talk about convergence number 2. Nations being shaken. Yeshua said in Matthew 24:7, nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. And today we see it. Russia and Ukraine, heartbreakingly, locked in war. Israel and the Middle East, heartbreakingly, boiling with conflict. China and Taiwan on the brink. And violence against Christians worldwide. Economic instability everywhere. Currency collapse, inflation, and new digital systems. Zechariah 12:3 calls Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. And that's what we see right now, the world trembling over Israel. Shaken nations confirm Yeshua's prophecy. These aren't isolated events, but converging signs. Let's read it in full. Matthew 24:7 comes alive. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. Look around. War, economic famine, pestilence, earthquakes. We're living in the very words of Yeshua. Luke 21:10 and 11 echoes the same. It says, nation will rise against nation, great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilences, and fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven. Here's the reality. Matthew 24 is not theory anymore. It is unfolding before our very eyes. Let's talk about Convergence 3, the rise of deception. We're now living in the age of deception. Let me tell you, I've been a victim of this personally, and I've seen it in recent years, right? Deepfakes of world leaders making false announcements. AI-generated celestial signs that never happened. Manipulated economic reports, shaking markets. Algorithms flooding social media with synthetic lies. Yeshua warned in Matthew 24:24, there shall arise false messiahs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. You know, in 2025, this warning feels more relevant than ever. Technology has amplified deception, right? But prophecy prepares us to discern truth. Now, I want to make a caution here against deception. Yeshua's words in 24:24 are worth noting. When he talks about false Christs arising and false prophets, here's the reality. Even the most discerning believer must guard against sophisticated deception. Paul warned in 2 Thessalonians 2:10 that those who received not the love of truth would fall into strong delusion. It was prophesied. 1 John 4:1 commands, beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they're of Elohim. Because many false prophets are gone out into the world, whether they're of Yahweh, Yeshua. End-time deception will be so convincing that only those anchored in the Word will stand firm. These three convergences, heavens, nations, and deception, don't give us a date, but together they mark a prophetic season. Yehshua said in Matthew 24:33, "So likewise ye, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors." It's not about predicting the hour. It's about recognizing the season. Prophecy doesn't give us a day on the calendar. It gives us a season to prepare. And that's why I wrote my new book, The Late Fate of Planet Earth, releasing October 28th, 2025. This book is not about hype. It's not about fear. It's about understanding how to navigate this prophetic season biblically. It unpacks the biblical framework for discernment, Israel and the nations in prophecy, Revelation's unfolding timeline, and how to live with clarity, courage, and hope in uncertain times. This is not hype. This is information on how to navigate this prophetic season correctly, a prophetic map for our time. How do we actually see prophecy clearly? Through the biblical lens. Psalm 119:105, one of my absolute favorite verses in the ancient scriptures, "Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path." Prophecy must be read through scripture. Otherwise, it will distort into confusion. The Bible itself is the only safe lens for understanding prophecy. There are 3 rules for reading prophecy when we talk about how to see prophecy correctly. Number 1, no date setting. Matthew 24:36, "But of that day and hour knoweth no man." Number 2, watch patterns. Wars, famines, lawlessness, the gospel reaching nations. These are signposts. And number 3, hold humility. Revelation unfolds progressively. Seals, trumpets, bowls. Not a flat chart, but a scroll. 1 Thessalonians 5:1-2 says, "For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night." Prophecy is clear when we use Yeshua's lens. No dates, patterns only, humility always. Matthew 24:6 says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled," right? "For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." Wars, rumors, instability, they're not the end. They are the markers along the way. Yeshua's point is simple. Don't panic. Stay watchful. Stay ready. This is echoed again in Luke 21:9, "When ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified. For these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by." Even in turmoil, Yeshua says, "Do not be troubled." I said Revelation is not a flat chart, but a scroll, and I meant it. It's not a flat prediction chart. It's a progressive scroll of God's plan. The seals in Revelations 6-8, the trumpets in Revelations 8-11, and the bowls in Revelations 15-16 unfold step by step, and each layer builds toward Christ's final victory. They are prisms of the final times. Revelation 5:1 says, "And I saw on the right hand of him that sat on the throne a scroll written within and on the backside, sealed with 7 seals." Prophecy isn't random chaos. It's an ordered scroll of history under God's hand. Revelation is progressive, not panicked. A scroll that reveals Messiah's triumph. Revelation is the unveiling of Messiah. It is not a horror novel. Revelation is not a doomsday chart. It's a revelation, a revealing of Yeshua the Messiah, Jesus the Christ himself. Revelation 1:1 says, "The revelation of Yeshua the Messiah, which God gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass." Now, when you understand that Revelation is not about unveiling the chaos that is to come, but rather unveiling Yehshua, well, everything changes. It's not fear. It's not chaos. It's the Lamb's victory. Revelation unveils Christ's triumph, not man's terror.
This teaching is part of a larger journey. Over the coming weeks, I'll be unveiling insights from my prophetic book trilogy. September 30th, 22 Laws of Eternal Power, a bold blueprint for throne-based leadership. Here we unlock the 22 ancient Hebrew codes for resilience and growth of body, mind, and soul. October 28th, The Late Fate of Planet Earth, a prophetic guide to Bible prophecy in our time. And November 25th, The Cosmic Courtroom, a revelation commentary for the final generation, prophecy, divine justice, and galactic renewal. Each of these works stands alone, unveiling kingdom principles. Together, they form an epic trilogy of end-time watchman knowledge and understanding and power. Summary. Every message in this series lays a foundation for understanding the prophetic season we are living in. First up, 22 Laws of Eternal Power. Don't miss it. Coming September 30th, 22 Laws of Eternal Power, a blueprint for throne-based leadership. Unlock 22 ancient Hebrew codes for resilience and growth of body, mind, and soul. Available September 30th on Amazon. Next, each of these builds towards the epic release of The Late Fate of Planet Earth. On October 28th, 2025, my prophetic tome, The Late Fate of Planet Earth, will release. This book is not hype. It's not fear. It's a prophetic map for our time. Inside, you'll discover how to decode the signs unfolding all around us, how to develop discernment against deception, how to understand Revelation's scroll and timeline, and how to find your prophetic purpose in uncertain times. From Israel to America, from AI to global conflicts, this is the biblical lens for 2025 and beyond. The Late Fate of Planet Earth is the prophetic map for this season. If this video gave you clarity, I invite you to join me in this journey. Subscribe for weekly prophetic insights. Turn on notifications so you don't miss an episode. Like and share this video, and perhaps that's most important, with someone who's anxious about the future. Together, we'll walk through the biblical perspectives on current events, prophecy timelines, and spiritual preparation for the days ahead. Join our global prophetic community. Don't walk this season alone. Today's insight is just one step in the journey of rising with better intelligence. For those building businesses, IsaacVoss.com and WaterMitigation.ai are your gateways for growth. For those seeking wholeness in body, mind, and soul, the community at Mightiest.com is waiting for you. Both paths meet here as unique channels at Isaac Voss Business and Isaac Voss Prophecy. Choose your lane or walk in both. Your best season is ahead. Until next time, be mightiest. Be mightiest.